Sam, make me co-host, please. Actually, Sam, can you make me the host, please? Sam, can you make me the host, please? Sam, make me the host, please. Rightio, and yes, hey everyone, welcome along. It's good to have your company today for Sunday market update. My apologies for the messy start. Bit of issue around getting some people in with some power to do some stuff. I know we've got Geoff about ready to go, and Chloe isn't far away either. There's a bit of a hold up with Ash. He was in the room, but he popped out again. I think there might be a session around. Fantastic. That's way better, guys. Around some powers for him to get involved. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go. Look, I'll sort that out for you guys now. You've got everything you need, Geoff. Are you going to?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty good to go, mate.
Mate, I've just given Ash panelist powers. As soon as he becomes panelist powers, I'll make him a co-host, and he can do what he wants. So really, we can do 3, 2, 1 and start this again if you want to, and you can take over and you can hand straight over to him. Or gosh, this thing's fiddly, isn't it?
Yes, I've got an issue with control panel, but I'm good to go whenever you are, mate. If we can go 3, 2, 1, I'm good.
Mate, I've just made Ash co-host twice. Sam is in Sam's in twice as well. I'm not quite sure why Sam's in twice. I'm gonna hand the control of this back to Sam. You guys are, hey Ash, how you doing? Are you packed, mate?
Am I packed? Jeez, no. I mean, I had a 6-year-old's birthday party to organise this Saturday. So one thing at a time. I've got to kind of get through one job and then the next job. So today it all starts.
My wife's back from being overseas like about an hour ago. So I'm about to, I'm going to let you guys go and go downstairs and start printing out some documents so I can get to Singapore. Can't wait to see you guys all. Geoff, we're going to start Sunday market update. I'm going to hand straight over to you. You've got everything you need. I'm going to make Sam the full host again so you get control of it. Sorry if you're an attendee, it's been a really messy start. I know we've wasted 5 or 7 minutes here, and I do apologise for it. It's just part of training new staff, and we've just missed something in the communication on how to deal with a couple of things. I've got Sam in here now 3 times. I would bet you $1 that one of those 3 is actually mine. But we'll hand over. I'll hand the Sam is back as the host. We're under control. Let's get on to talking about some market stuff. I'll leave you guys to it. Have a great evening. Cheers, guys. See you in Singapore on Wednesday. Ash, Geoff, take care. Thank you very much for helping, mate.
Okie dokie, all good. Well, another interesting week, of course, as we look around the place and we see the equity markets are still under pressure, I guess. Gold rebounded a little. The dollar struggling to maintain that 6-year high that we've spoken about so often in Trading Buddies. And let's go to my trading buddy now into the UK. And again, apologies for the late start, but here he is going to talk about the data that he's looking at for the upcoming week. G'day, buddy.
Yeah, how you doing, mate? Yeah, very good. As you say, some of the stuff that we've discussed over the last week just started to come to fruition. I thought quite interesting, really, that the US equity market struggled towards the end of the session, but the UK equity market, a little bit different, a lot more stable. So it's not right across the board, which is interesting. You know, when you see a bear market, you'd expect just a fire sale. That hasn't happened, which interesting now, if we have a look at the data, I think it's giving us a bit of a message here.
Does it mean it's not going to happen, Edge?
I don't think it's as imminent as we would, expect. And I think that that's the thing about trading. We may well have a bias and we may well be right on that bias. But if we choose the wrong timing, then it's worse to kind of be right on a trade and lose than it is to be wrong on a trade and lose. Because at least if you're wrong, you're wrong. That's just one of those things. You just got it wrong, you get stopped out, you're done. But when you're right and you just get the wrong timing because you're, way too keen to get into a trade and you get stopped out, and then, a day or so later, you see the exact thing that you were trying to trade in a direction take off.
None of us have ever seen that happen before, surely.
Oh, do you know, mate, it's the most frustrating aspect of trading. And I think that that is really being expressed to us because, as I say, we saw the NASDAQ just come off a little bit. It did have a slight bounce towards the end of the session, and the S&P the same. But the FTSE is not breaking down. And if we look at some of the COT data, I think what's quite telling this week with the COT data is that it's not really telling us a whole bunch when it comes down to where the market is going and what the bias potentially is. So if we look at, let's look at the Swissy. This is the one that I kind of wanted to focus a little bit on, and it'll become clear why. If we look at the Swissy, then we can see that the net position, the index is starting to rise here. But the net positions on the commercial traders, yes, they are going up and the shorts are coming out, which would be a bullish signal if this was the only information that we had. But then when we start looking down at the non-commercials, so these will be the asset managers, the big hedge funds and people like that, JP Morgans and the like, they're actually, getting short. They're almost in balance with the commercial longs. So these are kind of swallowing up the commercial long positions, building a little bit on the long side, but not very much, while these guys just take a little bit off the sell side. So very much in balance. And if you were to look at a lot of the COT data and a lot of the COT report, that's what it's like this week. The positions have moved very, very little amount, a very, very little amount. So we're not getting a great deal that would suggest that we are going to get a trend, a big trend on any particular product in one direction or the other. Where the Swissy becomes interesting is if we look at the seasonal data, because when we look at the seasonal data on the Swissy, we see this is May, start of May, and there's June. So we're around about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through May, going into June. Look at the run that we tend to see on the Swissy for at least, right into October. So we're looking at June to July, August, September, around about a quarter of information. So around about 3 months of information, suggesting that the Swissy starts to grind to the upside. And where I dive into this a little bit deeper is if I compare now the Swissy to the other currencies, then look at what it's against the Kiwi. This is the Kiwi May to June grind. It grinds along against the Swissy. So it would suggest that, the Kiwi is also potentially relatively strong against the Swissy. So we wouldn't want to trade the Swissy Kiwi, the Kiwi Swiss on a seasonal bias. We haven't got enough from the COT report. So the COT report is not really suggesting that we're going to get, huge breakouts. So now we're going to try and add a different element, and the seasonal suggests don't trade the Kiwi Swiss. But when we go down to the others, Aussie Swiss, this is the May. This is the blue line is the historical data. Very bearish. It comes right down right until July. CAD Swiss, really bearish. This one is an absolute spanking one. Coming down, 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 down. So CAD Swiss is also bearish. Euro Swiss. This is May, going into June, right the way down to July. Very bearish. And finally, the pound Swissy as well. Pound Swiss into May, coming down. Looks like this is going into June and then a little pop, but down again. So we could probably bring up the Kiwi and probably see something quite similar. where the Kiwi is relatively strong against some of these currencies, because it was the only one that was, pretty flat. And you can see actually pound Kiwi is pretty bearish as well. So looks like we're edging to we're moving towards Swissy or the Kiwi for the long. And where I find that quite interesting is that even though the COT data is not giving us the information, if you think about those two particular currencies and the way their economies are made up, Swissy very much in the risk off camp, Kiwi very much in the risk on camp, commodity based, commodity driven economy. So you could almost go into your week or month with a world view. And if your world view is that we are, the expectations should be for dampening growth, you would edge for the Swissy. If you think that we're much more likely to be stable to bullish, you would edge towards the Kiwi. So if you are not sure, you just leave things alone, and that's really what the COT data says to us straight away. Be very, very careful thinking that you're going to get an expansive trend over the next few weeks. What we could be waiting for, but now is June, that the next Federal Reserve speech, the next Federal Reserve news press conference, the next Bank of England press conference. We know about inflation. We know about all the negative stuff, and everybody needs to recognize that, yes, data is negative, news is negative, prices are going way beyond, central banks are reacting, but we know that now. So that'll be priced in. What's coming? What's next? Are we now going to get are we going to start leveling off a bit and still see a bit of growth in the economy? If we are, Kiwi looks pretty good. Are we going to get another shock? If we are, looks like the Swissy looks good. So I suppose in summary, mate, there's a little bit of uncertainty, and it's probably better to either sit back or at least wait for some specific signals before you kind of dive into this market, because information suggests that the bigger players are in balance, very much in balance.
Interesting. When I was doing my analysis earlier, I noticed that the Swissy had a decent week last week. In fact, it had a really good week last week, suggesting to me, and the Canadian dollar came off, which surprised me a little bit, given that we've got oil prices going up still. The CAD had good news on CPI data during the week. To me, it's a really, really strong currency. I don't see the commodity prices coming down anytime soon. Is that happening? Have I missed something?
No, mate, but as I say, this is where we start to see that the fact that all the stuff that is happening now, we anticipated 2-3 months ago, and that's now been priced into the market. Yes, oil isn't coming down, but it's not exploding either. We're not kind of getting that move back up to the 120 level. No, well, no, I mean, you just don't know, though. You don't know what's coming. You're absolutely right. And what that would suggest is that if the CAD eases a little bit, it's still a buy. It's still a buying opportunity. But, allowing it to ease and probably not trading in the opposite direction because the data is still pretty positive would be a good position to be in. And the COT data sort of suggests that we might be going through that right now. We might be going through a bit of a sideways consolidation market where things aren't turning around. There's nothing suggesting the current trends that are in motion are about to turn around. But there is a suggestion that maybe positions are held right now, and that they're probably going to stay a lot for this particular period until we see some price action retrace.
Yep, makes a lot of sense to me. Mate, as Paul suggested, you're about to jump on a plane on the next day or so.
Yeah, Tuesday.
For that reason, we'll let you pack tomorrow, and we won't have a Trading Buddies show. I'll miss you, man. We'll catch up in a week. Right?
We'll catch up in a week or two. Yeah.
Actually,
no, we won't. We'll catch up next week. You and I think we'll be doing Trading Buddies next week while I'm in Singapore.
We're doing an internal Trading Buddies. That's right.
We are indeed. Yeah.
All right, mate. I hope it's a great week and enjoy Singapore. Not sure how you enjoy the flight, but anyway, it is what it is. Have fun.
No, the flight is one thing I am looking forward to. A little bit of quiet.
You can have a snooze. Fair enough.
Yeah. A little bit of quiet before the retreat. Which again,
so Molly's not going with you?
No, goodness me. Gosh, you know what? She tied me out this weekend with her partying, but Yeah, the retreat is going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that, but it does start on the flight for me. I'm going to really look forward to the flight.
All right, you better get your presentation ready as well. Right, I'll let you go. Have a good Sunday.
Thanks, buddy. You too. See you guys.
Okie dokie. Look, we're going to stay in the UK now, and we're going to check in with Chloe to see exactly what she's looking at for the upcoming week. She's coming to us via video, so let's roll that video and say good day to Chloe.